What if one of the stages of cellular respiration is gone? Ano nga ba yung cellular respiration? Cellular respiration in a layman's term is the process of breaking down glucose to produce ATP. That's adenosine triphosphate, the carrier of energy or the energy currency in cells. That's why we are able to do movements and whatever involving energy. And the long answer is cellular respiration involves 3 stages. One being the glycolysis, second being the Krebs cycle, third being the electron transport chain. Habang proseso, ATP lang pala i-produce. In these 3 stages, what if one of them is gone? More specifically, the Krebs cycle. Because after the glycolysis, we produced 2 pyruvates and 4 ATP. To be more specific with the ATP count, we got 2 net gain of ATP because the other 2 is used in another glycolysis cycle. Basically, we need ATP to produce ATP. Those pyruvates have an option to go through anaerobic or aerobic processes. But this time we're going to aerobic processes because Krebs cycle is there. Again, we are talking about a process here, a cycle. That simply means without one element, with a missing element, you cannot proceed to the next step. What is important about the Krebs cycle are the elements it produced. Those are 8 NADH, 2 FADH2, 6 carbon dioxide, and 2 ATP. Actually, the NADH and FADH are the most important because they are the ones who are carrying the electrons. Bakit nga ba mahalaga yung electrons? Well, NADH and FADH needs to be broken down by an enzyme to extract the electrons and hydrogen ion. Once they are extracted, the electrons go straight to the inner mitochondrial membrane and the hydrogen ions lines up to the protein tube. By the way, this is all happening in the mitochondria. The electrons flow through the protein tubes and provides the energy to pull out the hydrogen ions. Those hydrogen ions are needed to go through the ATP synthase to help bind adenosine diphosphate to the phosphate. And behold, we created ATP, and this process is repeated at least 34 times. Without Krebs cycle, there will be shortage of electrons. The process may not even proceed to electron transport chain. Cellular respiration aerobically is not entirely possible. You can still produce ATP, but it will never be enough. Though there are still other ways to produce ATP, such as fermentation, which can be done anaerobically. All in all, like what I said, one missing element, one missing part can totally delay us from the whole process. And the absence of Krebs cycle will lead us to ATP deficiency.